We've seen similarities before. It would be impossible to miss them, right? They are both impulsive men from extremely wealthy families, and both have a strong belief that not only is there nothing they can't do, but there is nothing they can do better than anyone else. But it wasn't until this week's episode of The Young and the Restless that we really got it. Kyle is the new Billy Abbott. Which is weird because we still have the OG Billy, as entitled and arrogant as he ever was, yes, despite supporting Chelsea in her care of Connor. So we're not really sure what kind of soap is used here. If it were a person, we'd say that person has a type. Rich brats who tend to feel paralyzed if 5 minutes go by without a pat on the back. But according to the story, yes, we are stuck. We've already seen Kyle argue with Uncle Billy over their piece of the pie, which is big enough to feed the entire planet. And we heard them constantly talk about how brilliant, capable, and worthy they are. But so what does the show just tell the story of Billy Jabot leaving? I'll show you. Snit, because he wasn't the greatest of the great kahunas. We don't care if he had a corner office the size of our house back then, and we don't care if Kyle gets it now. It would be more exciting and hopefully to see a new Victor Newman, someone who comes from nothing and still makes something of himself. Someone who has to fight every step of the way. Someone who wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. So we could be left behind. This is just another poor rich kid who ignores the world at his feet because he's too busy being bullied. Hell, Young and the Restless didn't even ask Kyle to use his savings to start his own business to prove his talent. He used Victor's deep pockets to stick it to Mom and Dad. Wow, how vile. A rich guy lets a richer guy provide him with company he found in sofa cushions. On the plus side, at least in this business story, the stakes are personal. Kyle wants to hurt Jack and Diane, and he does. Winner loves it all the time because Kyle is too stubborn and self-absorbed to think that the only reason he's doing that job isn't because he's the most incredible businessman at the Monopoly board, but because hiring him gets Black Knight hurt. Opponent Let's Hope Glissade ends up failing miserably, and Kyle has to admit that if he was put in charge of a piggy bank, he'd probably be screwed. He crawls back to his mom and dad, who say, "Yeah, baby, we tried to protect you from this fact. We can't hire you again now." We'd look like idiots. Needless to say, Victor blackmailed Kyle into the very busy business life of Geno City. Sharon won't even accept him at Cassidy first, and she wanted to work with her ex-husband, who let her believe her baby was dead. But he lets her call out orders to the purple lights. Yes, Kyle becomes insecure overnight. Maybe then he and we will find out what he's really made of, and whether it's more than millionaire DNA and a gold chip on his shoulder. Perhaps he would rather be silent and listen than not speak, move rather than scratch, appreciate rather than demand. In other words, we care about what happens to him.